G'day everyone, welcome to the Breathless Blog, version number 1. My name's Brody Grogan. I run and operate Brody Grogan Photography here in Brisbane. Now, why the Breathless Blog tag? Well, let's take a little step back and I'll explain what's going on here. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, reading a few books, all about trying to better my photography business, be a better photographer, be a better person, all of that type of thing. So one of the things that I've been really keen and interested to do is actually start up a blog or a vlog. Now, I've done a little bit of vlogging, video blogging before. You can check out some of those on my channel here, which I'll leave a link to at the end. But I wanted to morph into more of a bit of a diary, so a weekly download, if you like, of just what my life is like as a photographer. So I'm all about people and passion for people and their stories. So what do I photograph? Anything from weddings to portraiture, to sport, to catching up with people for a cup of coffee and learning a bit about their life. Anything like that is what I absolutely love to do. So, taking a couple of steps back further as to why this whole breathless running, jogging shambles of a thing that it is and why I'm looking like such a mess right now. When COVID started, a lot of my friends and people I knew, myself included, guilty as charged, took it upon themselves when COVID and lockdown started to start eating and drinking in bulk. Now, after a couple of weeks of that, my wife and I actually had a little bit of an intervention and said, look, if we keep doing this, by the time lockdown finishes, we are going to be the size of a house, so we can't do this. She said to me, look, if you're so bored, why don't you just go for a run, go for a jog? There's, stay away from people, isolate and all those things, but at least it'll get you out of the house and probably out of her hair. So I did. Now, to say that I had been retired from running for about 10 years probably is a bit of an understatement. And even when I was a younger, fitter fellow, was I the world's greatest runner? No, I wasn't, but that's okay. So that afternoon, about 12 months ago, I went for a jog. I think it was about 2.5 Ks and it nearly killed me. But what I did do is just start to do it more regularly. And as I did it more, no secrets here, I did it more often, it got easier, the lengths improved. And so for me, I'm proud to say 12 months on that it's been a habit that for the most part, barring some illness, just colds and flus and whatnot, I've been able to stick to it. So one other thing that I did find in that isolation period as a creative person and a photographer was that when I would go on these runs, some of the most creative ideas or inspirational things that I wanted to develop or work on or share with people, they would arrive while I was plodding along, slugging it out during my runs. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly what's happened today. So I just want to, bring you into the space of how on earth did I get to the thought of running and photography being a perfect match for a blog? Well, first of all, like photography, do you have to be the world's greatest runner to run? No, you don't. Do you have to enjoy it, love it? Yeah, there's probably a degree of that. But what makes you feel better? Do you feel better before you run or after you run? Generally, it's after the run. But the hard work and putting yourself out there and getting yourself out of the house has to happen first. So that's exactly the same as what's happened here today. All right. With photography, quite often some of the big blocks that stand in our way is that we don't believe in ourselves. We compare ourselves to others. I look at myself today and if I think, okay, if I'm going to go for a run, should I be able to run whatever distance I did today at the same pace as Steve Monaghetti or something like that? If I compare myself to him, I'd never leave the house. But is it about that? No, it's just comparing it to yourself. All right? And even as a photographer, 3 years into full-time business, the trap that I can fall into is constantly looking at other photographers in awe and being inspired by them. And as inspired as I am by them, by their work, it sometimes also deflates me. And I think I'll never be as good as them. I can't be as good as them. I don't have as many Instagram followers as them. I don't book as many weddings as them. All of those self-doubts and self-chat that we have. But at the end of the day, does that really even matter? No. So just like with my running, all I've tried to do is just compare my runs to what I can do and the best I can be. All right, and with that, I've found that there's been more gratification and self-satisfaction that's come with the journey that I've been on, just like my photography. If you're not a professional photographer and photography is just something you love, and people say to me all the time, oh, I love photography, I've got a camera but I never pull it out of the bag. That's okay. Does the camera ever go away? No, it doesn't. It'll always be there for you. I tried to justify not doing any physical activity apart from indoor cricket and beers because, oh, well, I could always go for a run, but I haven't run for so long, so why would I even bother? I don't know. It's a little bit crazy, but I know that if it's resonated with me, then it's certainly going to be people there who it resonates with as well. Does running hurt? Yeah, it does. Because running's personal. You're the one who's out there plugging away, whether it's a rainy day like today and getting poured on, or I live in Brisbane, it gets hot and humid in summer. So yeah, there is going to be a little bit of pain associated with the running and sometimes putting yourself out there with photography. But a lot of that is self-induced. It comes from the self-doubts that you have or the questions that you ask and the comparing to others. So my message here, and I'm going to try and live it, is stop comparing yourself to others. Mark it against yourself. All right? And even if you're doing photography as an industry or a profession, spend time getting away and just doing something for yourself, creating something for yourself that you absolutely love, that you don't have to worry about other people judging. Feel free to go and make some mistakes. Okay? So, this is the first step in holding myself accountable to, number one, more runs, and number two, every time I finish a run and I have some idea or just a debrief of my week that's been from a shoot I've had, a problem I've had, the mistakes I might have made, the triumphs I've had, or interesting people I've caught up with, then I'm just going to share it. I'm going to put it out there because I know that, as I've found, for every time I've thought, oh, this is the only way I've ever felt as a photographer or a creative person, that there have been thousands of people who have walked the exact same journey, have felt the exact same things and thought the same things about themselves or their photography. So for all those runners out there, if you're looking for running tips, sorry, I'm clean out. But moving forward, maybe there might be some photography tips that pop up for you, or what a great opportunity for me to hopefully connect with you, get to know you better, and you'll get to know me a little bit better. So from here, keep an eye out for more videos. I'll keep throwing things up. And if you've got any questions or if you've got some things that you'd love me to speak about, then please shoot us a comment, send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. I'm not so breathless now, so that's me, over and out. See ya.